Good morning. Happy Tuesday. I have Neuro Coffee in hand and it is perfect. All right, man, already a busy Tuesday. International calls this morning, so we're going to dig straight into today's Q&A. This is with Ian, and Ian's question led us in a really interesting direction, kind of a foundational concept. When I constructed the two archetypes, the whole premise behind that was to give us a better representation of what starting conditions were, so we can better determine as we measure someone where they are relative to where they would have started. And so, just a quickie review, if we looked at the pelvis, if we had like a wide ISA representation, that's going to be with our innominate in an IR position with a nutated sacrum. If we go to the narrow, then we're going to look at an ER denominate situation with a counter-nutated sacrum. And that's important because, again, it gives us a representation of starting conditions. And if we know where you started, we know where you are, then we know how to reverse engineer the process. And in this discussion, we actually talk about how the anterior orientation occurs because the starting conditions are different in a narrow and a wide. We're going to see that anterior orientation develop in a little bit different manner. So this is a very useful question for a lot of people because there's a lot of questions as to how this anterior orientation occurs. So thank you, Ian. It's a great question. If you'd like to participate in a 15-minute consultation, please go to askbillhartman@gmail.com, askbillhartman@gmail.com. Please put 15-minute consultation in the subject line so I don't delete it. Please include your question in the email. We'll arrange that at our mutual convenience. Everybody have an outstanding Tuesday, and I will see you tomorrow.
I had a question that you said when you have a narrow that has more IR on the left, that's coming from the spine. And then you said the narrows would start the compensatory strategies up top and go down. So it would be like C3, C5, C6 going down towards the pelvis, creating that IR. And I'm just trying to see, is that why, because they are already ER'd and they have space to IR into, or is that just because they're not weight bearing so much through the upper parts of the spine?
So they're moving into a late representation.
Yeah.
From proximal to distal, right? Their proximal is at, if we talk about the lumbar spine, the proximal is at the T11-12.
Yeah.
Right? And then so in Taya's example, where it was at 25 degrees of hip IR was on that individual that you were just talking about. Okay. So the amount of orientation that they have is not at the extreme. Whereas I had somebody that was like 45, 50 degrees of hip IR. That's somebody that's going to have every one of those segments turned to the right.
Yeah.
You see it? It's like as it ticks down from like L1, L2, L3, you're getting more and more and more and more IR under those circumstances. Right. It's a late representation. It's the late representation coming down from the
all right. And that's all the discussion when the pelvis is in one piece, and then you just get all the stuff moving above it. And going to wide, I say, because they are already in IR, they start in IR. Is that why? Would that just be reversed? Would that go because? All right. So when they go on oblique angle orientation, their right side would go towards IR, but the left side would be like ER.
No, they're just gonna. So they're gonna. Did you say left side to ER?
Yeah, left side into ER.
No, because so they still have to turn into the internal forces, right?
Yeah, they still have to turn right.
They still have to push against the stuff that's going on internally, right?
All right.
Yeah. So what you're gonna end up seeing gradually is the anterior orientation is going to be greater on the left side than it is on the right side. So there's a differential between the two. The further they go, the more you're going to get the anterior orientation going up the right side as well. So again, this is why when you're on the oblique, right, the left side goes up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the center of gravity shifts back towards the right. So it's turning like this, right? So it's turning on the oblique this way. Okay.
Yeah.
And as they move forward, there's more and more and more anterior orientation on the right side. So that's why I start to lose the IR, because I'm IRing in the spine. I'm not IRing in the hip.
All right. So it would be IR coming from bottom up on the right, because they're pushing more forward.
Right. So they're on, everything that they're doing is on this axis.
Yeah.
So they're doing this, right? So they're doing this, and then they have to go forward like that, right?
All right. And I was just seeing that forward like that. I was just seeing the relative ER of the left side, but it's probably not, because they're already pushed forward. Yeah. Just the stenosis starts happening.
It's so what you're seeing, here you go. So this is the situation, right?
Yeah.
Okay. As I go forward on the right side, so this hand is going to, hang on, let me in. So this hand is going to start to go forward. Okay.
But this one doesn't go anywhere.
But this one doesn't move, but it looks like it's going this way, right? Everybody says, oh, you're turning left. It's like, nah. It's just like everything's going to the same place. So again, like if I do this, they look the same. If I do this, they look the same. So which one is it?
Yeah. It's
right?
this one.
Yeah, it's this going on. It's like, so everybody says, oh, you're starting to turn left. It's like, I understand what you're saying, but you're going to create a massive amount of confusion.
Yeah.
Because if you think it's this, that would be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it.
You understand?
Clear.
Yeah. Because so this is really important, because again, people say, oh, that like this is turning one way, this is turning the other way. It's like, you got to see where they are in space. Because if you don't understand how the center of gravity moves, you start creating this concept in your head that's not there.
Yeah, because every time what's even forward, right? What's the front? You know, and
why do I talk about the imaginary sagittal plane? Because where does it go? Like, okay, where's straight ahead? Is it where your eyes are? Is it where your nose is? Is it where your hyoid's facing? Is it where the pubis is facing? It's like, okay, where's the sagittal plane that everybody's talking about? It's like, give me a point of reference. Give me a point of reference.
Yeah. And
dead guys, hang on. Dead guys have a sagittal plane.
Yeah.
They don't move. They don't move.
Yeah. Yeah.